Welcome, everyone, to ITD's Game of the Year 2025. That's right. It's that time again. The Game Awards are coming up. So it's our turn first to do our version of Game Awards, or not really awards, just what we think the Game of the Year is, as well as our runner-ups and our most disappointing game. Our most disappointing game is not necessarily a game that's bad. It's just a game that in the end disappointed us, right? Didn't quite meet the expectations we were hoping they would be. So we're going to go around, and how this is going to work is we're going to go around to everybody. We're going to start with our runner-ups, our first runner-up for each person. And this is, we put our runner-ups in from least to better, to close to the Game of the Year. Then we're going to go to our most disappointing, and then at the very end, stick to the end to find out whose game or what the Game of the Year is for everybody is that they picked for this year. So let's go around, and we'll start with our first runner-ups. Number 3, I guess, in the runner-ups. We have 3 apiece. So Shane, let's go. We'll start with you, buddy. What's your number 3 runner-up?
I was torn on it because of what it is, but Metal Gear Solid 3 Delta. It's a remake, but
we'll allow it.
It really signified what made not just the series great, but why this game itself was so great. I loved it. It's just so many flashbacks of what I enjoyed the first time I played it when it originally came out on PS2. So it was just yay me when I fired it up. So that's my number 3. Metal Gear Solid 3 Delta.
Pat, what about you, buddy?
Pat,
what's your number 3?
This was a really, really hard slot to fix because I honestly had 4 game titles in this slot and I had to narrow it down. And it was really difficult for me to narrow it down. And the only way I could narrow it down was I had to basically ask myself which game left more of an impression on me and made me want to play more. And that will be Citizen Sleeper 2. That was my third one. So I actually enjoyed the first one. And I was a little leery of the second one because of some of the changed mechanics. But I played through it multiple times. I'm a sucker for that kind of game sometimes. I have to be in the mood for it. But Citizen Sleeper 2 came out, and it won't get any attention this year from any of the game awards. But it definitely is like on my top game, in my top games of the year. So obviously it's one of my runner-ups. So Nick, what did you pick for your third runner-up here?
My third runner-up, I almost put Metal Gear Delta on there. I didn't play Citizen Sleeper 2. I did play the first one, which I enjoyed, but I didn't play the second one. So that one can't go on there. But for my third runner-up, I put Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. Kingdom Come, I love the first game. I think this one's just as good, and it was a lot of fun to play. So I really enjoyed that game, and I thought it was a really good game. I think they did a really good job on that game.
They made it more accessible, and I found it really fun too. The first one was damn hard. The combat was way
it was
difficult.
Very buggy, very jittery.
This one though was almost perfect. Like I played through. I'm almost beat it. I dropped it before I beat it, but I agree that's a really good game.
Yeah,
that's the problem with games that release earlier in the year, right? You almost forget about them.
You forget about them, yeah, for sure. All right, Shane, what's your number 2 runner-up? Number 2 runner-up.
And it's funny you say that, Pat. My game, number 2, came out early in the year, and I did almost forget about it. And South of Midnight. I really enjoyed that game. It was graphically, it was kind of hard for me to get used to at first because it has a stop motion-y kind of a claymation cell shade weird thing. And that was kind of hard to get used to, but I understood why they chose that as I played the game. As you go further and further, the story builds up and everything. It was all cumulative. It was nothing that was like out of nowhere, kind of a new game play kind of thing. It had very traditional mechanics in most areas. It was just the storytelling, the A to B, everything worked out really well. characters, creatures, all that stuff. I really enjoyed. So yeah, I was trying to pick my list, and I'm going through and remembering everything I played here recently. And then I'm like, I need to go back farther because Game of the Year stops in like end of October. So you basically have November, December of last year to remember too.
Except for they never go back that far. Jeff Keighley and them
back.
never go back.
They
It's
never
only
go
calendar
back.
year. Like those guys that release in November and December.
Just calendar's an asshole. Yeah. No. But I think anybody who still has Game Pass should try it. I think if you can get it on a good sale, buy it because it's a damn good game. Damn good. So Pat, what about you? What is your deuce?
My deuce is a very recent game, and it is Arc Raiders. I actually like it, which is an interesting thing because I'm not a big PvPer, and I don't PvP in Arc Raiders unless I'm forced into it. But I've played a lot of Arc Raiders, a lot of it. I play a lot of solo. I play duos with Nick, and we play trios every now and then when Shane wants to play. When he's not getting the MMO fix, he's got to pull the needle out, So
I blame you guys.
Arc Raiders for me actually was I thought it would be cool. I really was interested in it until I heard that it was PvE, PvP, PvPvE, and then I was like, oh, I'm out. I don't like extraction. I like extraction shooters, but I don't like because the hunt showdown and stuff like that's a really good concept, but I don't want a PvP for my stuff. So, but it actually is pretty good when you can get away from, the PvP adds a level of anxiety to it, especially when I'm running solo. It adds a lot of anxiety to it. I'm not as anxiety. I don't have as much anxiety when playing with duos or trios because you have people watching your back. But when you're solo, it's like you're running around like freaking prairie dog on the hill. Like where are they at? Can I hit that? Or is somebody going to get me? So that was my second runner up for this year. It's a fairly recent game. And I played a lot of it, and that's really the only, and for me, it's like one of the first extraction PvPvE shooters, the looter games that I've actually thoroughly enjoyed and play by myself. I normally play no PvP games by myself. So Nick, what do you have on yours,
it's
man?
True. My number 2 or deuce is Atelier Yumiya. Everybody knows I love that series of games, and Yumiya came out this year, and I did everything in it and played all the DLC up to this point now, which they've released for it. So there's, if you've ever, it's an RPG. If you ever played these series of games, you know exactly what I'm talking about. If you haven't, then you're missing out because these are a lot of fun to play. Most of the time they're in Japanese with subtitles, so you do have to read. They're usually not in English. I don't think Yumiya was in English either. I want to say it was in Japanese, but I honestly can't remember. I really love these games, and this was just another good one that I enjoy this series of games. So,
and what I find funny is, I swear to God, the way gaming is going anymore, it's like anime. The longer the title, the better the better the game or story.
Yeah,
because that was a super long one. Nick just gave you the shortened version.
I gave you the beginning of the title. Yeah.
Atelier Yumiya, the Alchemist of Memories in the Envisioned Land.
Mm-hmm. It's Koei Tecmo game, so they make pretty good stuff.
All the Atelier or Atelier games really have really long titles,
and it's fun to hear.
It's hard to say.
It is
because it doesn't look like that. It doesn't look the way it's pronounced. Anywho. Let's go on to number 3. What's the number 3 runner-up, Shane? Or number 1, I'm sorry. Number 1.
Number 1. I was going to say.
I went back to 3.
Because you scared me. I looked at my list and I was like, crap, I flipped it. All right. Number 1 on my runner-up list is Clair Obscura. And the only reason, and I put a lot of thought into it. And the only reason it is in my runner-up list and not my Game of the Year list is because as amazing story as it is, it's a very classic game in a modern generation. It's the combat in it is traditional. And I love that's my favorite part about it. The turn based is my favorite part about that whole game. It's just it felt so familiar when you played it. For an older person like myself, I may not look it, but I'm pretty old. But the story is phenomenal. The characters are phenomenal. I mean, like within the first hour, I mean, it hit 3 points that just, I just like, oh my God, I love this. I love this. I wanted to make it higher, but it's only because it had such a familiarity that I kept it on my nominated list, my top 3. If they would have done some really new and interesting things beyond some of the world stuff, I think the world stuff, the traversal was the most unique thing about that game. The story and everything was wonderful, but it's the traversal of the open world. I thought that was the most interesting part of the game. I thought that was most unique, I should say. But yeah, it's a great game, and I have a feeling I know where you guys stand on it. So, but let's jump to Pat. And Pat, Uno, who is your Uno?
First off,
game?
SK frowns upon you, so
All right, SK is one of the best characters.
He's not weeing.
Come out and
he's wooing. He was weeing, but now he's
that's
wooing.
Right. But now he woos, yes.
So this one will probably be no surprise, but I think it's been forgotten by a lot of people. My first runner-up is Night Rain, Elden Ring. I love the shit out of that game. Played that game all the time.
And I called it.
Did you call that?
I knew it was going to be in your list.
I played the shit out of that game by myself, with Nick, with Shane, with the group. I beat all of the boss. I have not played since the new stuff came out, the multi-tier. I haven't played since then, but I beat every boss and every one of the Nightfell ones as well, at multiple times. Pickup groups in that
and
game.
And the DLC is coming up.
Yeah, so I'll be picking it up again, and maybe Nick will, and maybe Shane will. I don't know if Shane enjoyed it as much as we did, but I enjoyed the hell out of it. I enjoy the Elden Ring games.
I enjoyed playing with you guys.
It's a difficult game.
There's certain games that are just great to play with you, and it's not something I would play by myself.
2 out of my
I didn't
3
play it by myself, but me and Pat, I would play it with Pat, and we beat all the bosses together. So that was good enough for me. Like, cool, I got to beat all the bosses.
I just played a lot to get more and more gems, and I played through the bosses with all the different characters because I'm finding which ones I like, which ones I don't like, and it was surprising that I was like, I can't remember the guy's name, the hawk guy, the sword, the halberd, and the shield guy. I'm like, there's no way. I hate that guy. And I played him, and I'm like, this guy is like easy mode. He is fun. He just blocks everything. And then, and he was fun. And so, to me, Night Rain, I played probably more Night Rain than anything else this year when since it's been out. When these guys are busy and not wanting to do anything, it was kind of my go-to thing because I felt that even in a pickup group or a pug group, it wasn't that bad or that difficult. Some of the bosses can be if people don't know the mechanics. But typically by the time the boss, the third night comes up, the end of the night comes up on the third day, you would know whether your team's going to beat the boss or not. You would know. You'd be like, all right, well, I'm not going to stress too much or. So that was my Elden Ring, Night Rain, but I love the Elden Ring series and I want more Elden Ring even outside of Night Rain, but I would be looking forward to DLC. Nick, what was your first runner up, man?
Yeah, it's before I get to my first one, it's kind of funny you're talking about that when you get to the third night. Like even with me and you, and then we'd have one pickup. When we got to the third night, I could tell like, okay, we got this, or nah, this ain't gonna.
I didn't get any good drops, or we all got good drops. We're like, all right, we can do this.
Yeah. Yep. Or it's like, nope, this is gonna if we make it, it's gonna be like
skin of our teeth. Yeah.
Yeah. My number one runner up is a game that came out earlier in the year. Also a long title. Ender Magnolia, Bloom in the Mist. The Ender Lilies
right?
is the first game. Ender Magnolia is the second one that came out this year. And I love the first game, but the second game's like 10 times better than the first one. The music in this game is phenomenal. The music in the game, the first one was phenomenal, but the second one is even better music and like the gameplay and everything. It's a Metroidvania, so it's those types of games, but it's so good. It's just a really good game. If you like that genre, these are definitely top tier Metroidvania type games.
Especially, I don't remember you talking about this one at all. Looks cool.
Yeah, I talked about Magnolia. And I think Magnolia, last time I looked, it had an overwhelmingly positive on there, but I don't know if it's changed.
And all the other places I look is it's 5 stars, like 5 out of 5 stars.
Yeah.
Ender Lilies was a phenomenal game, and I forgot about this one even coming out.
Yeah, because I had beaten Ender Lilies, and then I saw that this one was coming out, and
it is currently on sale for $16.24. I am buying it right now as we speak. So.
It is definitely worth it. It is a great game, great story. Combat's a lot of fun. The exploration is a lot of fun. Like getting around and everything is a lot. The traversals are really easy, so it doesn't take a long time to get from A to B. Like in a lot of Metroidvanias, you have to return to places, but it doesn't take long. There's a lot of waypoints and things like that. But yeah, ultimately, it's a really cool game, really cool atmosphere, and a lot of mystery behind it.
It's in my cart right now.
Awesome. But yeah, Ender Magnolia is my number one runner up. I really enjoyed that game. I did everything in it. I got all the collectibles. I think I got every achievement in it. I want to say I did everything in it. And when I beat it and got everything done, I was hoping for more, but there wasn't any more. That was pretty much the end of it. So I was like, well, I could play the game again, but other than that, there really isn't much more I could do. And so I was hoping for some DLC or something, but they haven't done anything with it. So now I'm just hoping for the next game or whatever by them. So, but yeah, that's that one. So let's go on to our most disappointing. Now, again, these aren't games that are necessarily bad. They were just disappointing for us, right? As an individual, they may not be disappointing to one of us other guys here or to you listening, but to us, they were disappointing for whatever various reasons they were disappointing. So I guess we'll just keep the rotation. We'll start with Shane. Shane, what was your most disappointing game of the year?
Carol and the Greasy Monkey.
I don't remember that one.
It's not at all what I thought it was going to be.
There were no monkeys.
There was lots of grease.
Carol wasn't grease.
There was lots of grease.
No. So this year, I've played a lot of games that I've played. There's not been a whole lot this year that I looked forward to. I mean, like really wanted to play. But this one I saw the videos and trailers and Fallen Feathers. So I was really disappointed. I almost fell asleep in the first 10 minutes. I was really bored with it.
What game was it?
Yeah, I think you cut out there.
The Fallen Feathers.
Oh, Wu-Chang? Wu-Chang?
No, Wu-Chang. The Fallen Feathers. And it's not just because the character's supposed to be sexy. It was just boring gameplay. The story did not grab me whatsoever. Combat was bland. Everything about it was, I've been there. I've done that. I've played this. I've seen that character. I've battled this enemy. I've seen this land. I've seen that village. I've seen that hut. This would be a good place for a coconut. It was just such I wouldn't even say it was a mediocre game because it just really relied on everything that's come before it and not in any better way. Some games, they see something, they build upon. This game saw something and just beeline towards it. And that's it. I mean, there was nothing unique about it. And the trailers and everything really made me, I could get into this, because what was the monkey game?
Wukong.
Wukong. because it gave me that feeling like Wukong watching the trailers and videos and stuff. And I was like, okay, I could get into this. And I pushed play and was, no, I'm not. I'm not getting into this. It was one of the games that, this year that I looked forward to that actually came out bad. It was so disappointing that there was nothing in the videos I watched made it into the game that I played. None of those feelings. So I was really disappointed by that. I mean, nothing about that game was better than anybody's done before, or more unique, or anything special upon something that I've seen before. Like, okay, it's a sword game. I could fight with a sword. All right, I could fight with a staff. Nothing unique. Nothing unique about the combat. Nothing about the gameplay. And it was such a slog. But I gave it a try even farther than I typically would with a game that made me that tired to just play. And it just never got better. Not once. And it really saddened me because, I think it came, if I remember right, it came in at a time where we were kind of in a lull of games and, of anything, at least you're looking forward to. So, but that was my sad sandwich. So, Pat, What broke your heart? What made you sad?
So, mine's a co-op game.
Oh my God, I will play with you. Shit.
No, it's not what you guys are thinking. That didn't make my list at all. And so we always look for good co-op games to play in between when we're playing something single player or something that we're playing just for ourselves or whatever. And I was really looking forward to this game because it's in a series, but it just didn't deliver. And it's Monster Hunter Wilds. The game was overly easy, in my opinion. Like, they removed the difficulty gates from the game. Nick and I and Shane played quite a bit. And then when Shane moved on to something else, Nick and I were continuing to play because we're like, where's the hard monsters at, right? Very rarely, even in a pickup group, would we not dominate the high-ranked monsters. Just beat the crap out of them. Mm-hmm. Of course, somebody would go down every once in a while or something. But for the most part, I've heard they've added some more difficult monsters and we haven't been back in months, but you typically in a game, and this is why it's your window of opportunity is very short. It's when you come out a couple of weeks, couple weeks to a month before you determine if it's something you're going to keep playing on a continuous basis, in my opinion. And Monster Hunter Wilds the game was fun. The game was interesting. A lot of people had a lot of bugs with the game, but it wasn't buggy to me. I didn't have any problems with that, but a lot of people was having tons of issues with it. But the gameplay overall was it felt like they oversimplified a lot of it. I've always played a hammer main in that one, and I completely swapped up to the daggers, the dual wielding in there. And dual wielding in that felt like OP. Like, I could just beat the ever living crap out of a monster, move out of the way without getting hit. Whereas when I played hammer, I would just absorb the damage, right? It's like, I'm just going to take the hit because it's not going to hurt me. I'm a little tanky, but it was just too easy, overly boring. I felt, Nick, you remember that other monster hunting game that I think a Microsoft game came out before that, like a little bit before that? What was the name of that one? Was funner than this one, I felt.
There was that one that EA made.
Was it EA? It was EA. Like
something Hearts.
Wild Hearts.
Wild Hearts. Yeah, I felt that one was a little more fun than this one was, with all the different mechanics and traps. But
I had that like Fortnite building mechanic to it.
Yeah, but this game just felt a little rehashed, but also really simplified. It felt overly easy. Like, we didn't really struggle a whole lot with any single monster that I can. I mean, the whole lightning, the one that did the chain, the flying dragon with the chain was like the most difficult, but he really wasn't once you learned his attack pattern. Just like, all right, he berserks and goes apeshit. You just stay away or just drop rocks on him or whatever. It just felt overly simplified and easy, no matter how high in the hunter ranks you got. So that, for me, that was my most disappointed game of the year, because I wanted that to be our co-op game, like Helldivers was, that we play for months on end when we don't have anything. We just hop back into it. A Rainbow Six or whatever, I wanted that to be another one of those in the rotation. But to me, this felt like the quickest Monster Hunter Wilds game that we ran away from. The Monster Hunter game, not Wilds. Worlds we played forever. We played the one on the Switch for a long time, and then this one came out in Wilds, and I'm just like, did we even put a month into it? I don't think we did. I
didn't.
We beat all the monsters all the way to the end, and then it's like, all right, we're raising our hunter rank so we can fight more difficult versions of this monster, get higher grade materials, and I'm like, okay, I know they've added new monsters and stuff now, but I'm kind of out of it for this one. What about you, Nick? What was your most disappointed game of the year?
My most disappointed game of the year is also a co-op game by the name of Monster Hunter Wilds.
Really?
That was my most disappointing game as well. And for the same reasons that Pat said, right? I mean, yeah, I think I love Monster Hunter. And I mean, before Monster Hunter Wilds came out, we played World. And we played a shit ton of World before that and beat all the monsters and Iceborne and everything like that. And we just decided to replay it. And we were going through and I was having so much fun with World. And I was like, man, I can't wait to get into Wilds. And when I got into Wilds, it felt like the thing I loved about World was, and all the previous Monster Hunter games too, is that you had the different armor sets, and it was a lot of minimizing and maximizing your character out with the different armor types and weapons and stuff like that. And it also, Pat's exactly right with the weapons. The weapons are more like easy to use, hard to master. But in this one, it felt like they were just flat line, simple across the board for all of them. Like hit a button and it just does it for you, right? And they also made a lot of things. They made a lot of things like auto as well, like the
weak point damage attack thing.
Yeah, the weak point damage, like that was easier to pull off. Like the wheat stones or the wet stones, like you didn't have to. You always had one on you, right? I think in that one, like you didn't have to like remake them or pull them out of a chest or build them. Like in World, you had to build them and make sure you took them with you. In this one, you always had them; they were indefinite. And like
Rise, you always had them with us too. I don't think Rise, you had to create them.
I thought you had.
And it's been a while.
I can't remember. It's been a while. Yeah. But I mean, playing like after that, I had bought Monster Hunter Generations on the Switch because they had it for like super cheap digital version. And like, one of the things I love about Monster Hunter is the complexity of it, right? It's if you play some of the older Monster Hunter games, it's a very complex game. Like everything you have to do to drinking a potion, to sharpening your blade, to hitting a monster is very technical.
To also wearing the right armor and bringing the right
armor, taking the right weapon. And they took all that out of Wilds. It felt like none of that just existed anymore.
Yeah, I was like, once you get your artifact weapon, you don't need to swap it out. It doesn't matter if it doesn't do the damage type.
Right,
and the armor doesn't matter. Didn't feel like it mattered
in World,
at all.
I had sets. I had shit ton of armor sets with different weapons and everything like that, and we'd switch them out. And in Wilds, it was like, I got the best weapon and the best armor. I don't need to switch them out. It works for everything. Yeah. And it's like, this is boring. I don't want to. What am I fighting other higher monsters for other than just to up my hunter rank? Other than that, I'm not building other weapons, right? I'm not building armor sets and stuff.
Yeah.
And that was the whole fun and the complexity of Monster Hunter is what makes it fun. And I feel like they overly simplified Wilds, unfortunately, because I was really looking forward to that game. I love Monster Hunter, but I think they just kind of oversimplified it.
Yep.
They tried to open it up for the masses.
They did, and it is more of a niche game. It really is. I mean, World did open it up for the masses, but I think the masses though also enjoyed they simplified some things in World, but also kept some of that complexity, and I think the masses enjoyed that because I don't think Wilds even is really. Even with the masses that were around with World, I don't think Wilds is quite grabbing the same people from Worlds as it did, from what it did for Worlds. I don't know, but it seems like I know I heard originally, I don't know how it is now, but early rumblings of like people being kind of pissed off for the same reasons we were, right?
Yeah. And then the technical difficulties I know ran a lot of people off. Like we did a video on the game, and people were pissed off at us because we weren't talking about the technical difficulties. And I'm like, I hadn't have any, right?
Yeah.
You know, so
No,
I mean,
I ran it. I played on Xbox. You guys are running a PC. Yep. I didn't run into hardly any issues from the launch to the last time I played. So I don't know. I don't know where those technical difficulties came from. If it was primarily PC, maybe it was just
it sounded like it was
with
PC.
certain cards or whatnot.
Yeah.
So
right, because you have different configurations, so everybody's mileage will vary.
Right. And the game that Shane thought I was going to mention was Split Fiction, because I'm the third wheel in this relationship, so I didn't get to play that.
He
one.
didn't get to play it.
So if you're talking about didn't get to play most disappointing game, then that probably would be it. But it's the most disappointing game that I played. So.
Yeah, me and Pat, I was when Pat said Monster Hunter World, I was like, well, damn, I picked the same one. We thought the same thing. Wilds was our most disappointing.
But we played a lot of Worlds and even Rise, and I was like, this is going to be our co-op game.
Yeah, because I played through Rise, I think, by myself.
Yeah.
From beginning to the end, and a little bit beyond the end game of Rise, like twice. And then World, I don't know how many times I've played World with you guys and by myself and various things like that. But Wilds, like we played together, and ever since then I have not touched it since. Like I think I still have it installed, maybe. Yeah. I don't remember if I still have it installed or not.
Yeah. So I mean that was that's funny. I figured when I put my most disappointed, I'm like, I wonder if this is gonna be Nick's most disappointed as well. And if you actually look on Steam DB, Monster Hunter Wilds is like barely beating World, like 2,000 concurrent players more than World has. World's hitting
right
like 12.
Now?
Yeah. World is hitting 12,500 and Wilds is like 14,000 with a peak 24. They're both around peak 24,000 peak in the last 24 hours. So, it's other players are feeling the same thing with Wilds.
Yeah, they're just going back to World and be like, this is a better game.
Yeah, it is, in my opinion. But
I think Worlds is a better game too. Like World, like even going back to World when we went back and played it, like I was just jonesing to play.
Yeah,
right. And then, but with Wilds, it was like, you want to play Wilds? I was like, yeah, sure.
It was not as bad as Skull and Bones pulling teeth, right? It was like, hey, you want to play? And they would reluctantly play, but
no, it wasn't that bad, but still, it was just disappointing in that aspect. It's unfortunate,
Yeah. I'm going to interject something here that wasn't planned, but I also want to do a couple of honorable mentions that didn't make the top games that I think that you guys will probably agree with. Blueprints.
Yeah,
it was a great game.
Fun.
I know Shane played the hell out of that one. It's like, you guys got to check that out, and we played that one.
And you know why? Because it's one of those games like Nick kind of recommends, but you nailed it this time. That was unique. It was different. It was something you jump in. And
make them do a run and be done.
Don't know what to expect. Yeah, you get your run in. It was so left field of what I would have thought of. And, it's one of those games I wouldn't have played unless it had a little bit of word of mouth from you guys. And when you brought it up, okay, check it out. Boom. I loved it.
Yeah.
So excellent choice.
And then Nick played that one. And I don't think everybody played these other two, but The Altars, I freaking love The Altars.
I wanted to put it on my disappointed list because everybody likes it so much, and I just couldn't get into it.
Yeah, it's sci-fi, and I love a good sci-fi. If Citizen Sleeper 2, I mean, come on, that's a sci-fi freaking reading game with freaking dice in it, So I don't know, Nick, you played The Altars, did you? Did you beat it?
I just played the demo. I didn't get to around.
I beat the game multiple times. It's fun. It's an interesting concept. Even though there's controversy behind it with them using AI, it was still to me a great game. And then a very recent game, Dispatch. That one's not going to get any love because it's a fairly new game on any of the Game Awards. It's too late in the year. And it's too late in the year to be this year and too late in the year to be next year's. So Dispatch
I wanted to play it, but I was waiting for you to finish it because I was also waiting for all the chapters to come.
The chapters are all out now. And Telltale Games, even though Telltale's not a lot around, but it is still them. It's still just like that. I'm not a huge fan of those games. They get boring, but this one actually had some good, interesting stuff, and the story was pretty good, and it has multiple endings, and so
it's doing really good.
I enjoyed it.
Player review wise, right? I think on Steam it's got like
I
Very
somehow lucked
positive
into the
or
perfect
overwhelmingly
ending
positive?
with my first playthrough. So I'm like, okay, I guess I'm just good at these games. So I lucked out of the perfect ending on my first playthrough. So,
I love Telltale games, so that's right up my
sometimes
alley.
like the Walking
Yeah.
Dead series was overplayed by the time they wrapped it up.
They've
It's got
milked it out too
overwhelmingly
much.
positive 83,000,
Yeah.
over a little over 83,000 reviews
It's a good
on
game.
Steam. So
And I enjoyed it and I beat it. I want to go through again and pick different choices. Obviously, that's the whole point of those games. But my first playthrough got me the perfect ending, and I'm like, okay, well, let me play a different ending next time. So yeah, I don't know if you guys have those honorable mentions, but I just thought I'd throw those out there because I didn't think anybody would pick those as their game of the years. So
I would throw out a few. I would throw out Ninja Gaiden Ragebound. Very, very smooth running, side scrolling ninja game. Felt great, played great. I would also throw in Doom to Dark Ages, just brutal mayhem for 8 hours, and it's just one of those mind-numbing games, and I love that. And then I would probably throw Avowed in there, just because for me it hit right. It wasn't the greatest game of an RPG, but
it was good.
It hit all my buttons.
It was too early in the year, I think, to get any type of notoriety this late in the year.
I would agree with that. Yeah. So I would throw those boogers in there. I think all of those should definitely get a play. And Gears of War Reloaded, me and Nick played through. So that was really
fun.
good. It's a remaster. It's not a remake.
Yeah, well, that's another third wheel game. That's another one of those third wheel games, Oh,
my God. Just bring the loot.
They need to make them 3-player.
Well,
I guess 4 was 3-player.
4 was 3-player, or 5.
Yeah.
The last
5,
one. The last
whatever
one.
the last one was.
Yeah, so those are the games I didn't get to play this year.
Yeah.
What about you, Nick? You got a couple of honorable mentions? You don't want to put your Pretty Pony game in there or anything?
No.
Oh my God, I forgot about the pony game.
No, I don't want to put the pony game in there.
Oh shit, the pony game.
I can't really think of any honorable mentions at the moment.
All right.
Wasn't Roblox, was it?
No.
All right. So I guess Nick or Nick Keeley will let you take this one away, All
right. Well, Shane, I guess we're going to game of the year. So Shane, what is your game of the year?
Well, unfortunately, I think you two have already figured it out. Let me know if you knew it. The pony game. It's the pony game.
Mm-hmm.
Split Fiction. I think Pat figured that one.
What's that game? I don't know what that game is.
It's a game where you and a friend. Split Fiction hit so good. Me and Nick played it together. Sorry, Pat. But it's another game by Hazelight. They did It Takes Two and Brothers, and this game hit all the sci-fi, all the adventure. It hit all these genres, and the gameplay and everything about it, I fell in love with. I fell in love with the characters, the little things. There was an area where me and Nick kind of ran around and just checked out the dumbest crap, the flowered area, for an hour. Just, oh, look at this, look what I can do. We just had the best time doing that. I love a good cooperative game.
It's the game for lovers.
No, It Takes Two is the game for lovers. Me and Nick also played. But
come on, if you can get turned into wieners together, it's the game of lovers.
And it's and I think the wiener was my favorite level. But the entire game from front to back was so unique in every aspect. The last couple levels were so chaotic and beautiful at the same time that it was kind of hard to play, because the way the worlds would switch on you. I would be in Adventureland, Nick would be in Sci-Fi Land, and the shit would be like switch, and in the middle of running for your life. And I loved it. I think the writing by that company is so fantastic. Now, I think It Takes Two was a little bit better, but I love Split Fiction. I really do. I think, Pat, when we find you a friend, we're going to get you that game. I really feel bad, though, because you have. Don't they have a dating app?
For Farmers Only, now? I think.
Gamersonly.com.
Gamersonly.com.
They do have a gaming dating app. I can't remember the name of it, but
yeah,
I think I'd be in trouble if I was.
What's your login there?
You're gonna share it with us.
No, that game. I knew it was going to be good, but I didn't think Hazelight could continue being so good. Because everybody has that fall off. Everybody has, that one game that just doesn't work. Everybody has their, turd that pops. And this one, they didn't. And I'm so thankful. So that makes me more nervous for the next game, which God knows what that's going to be. But if you have not played Split Fiction, and if you have a friend,
it better be a trio
or a girlfriend. Split Fiction too.
It's the thruple
fiction. But if you haven't played it,
the next game will be like two lovers and the third wheel that they're torn between, and that's how the game.
That's the poly relationship, right? The polyamorous one, right?
That would be fine with me if it's made by the same people. The writing in those games are so fun. This one here had a few more predicted, kind of outcomes, but it was still so good, so solid. Characters all over the place were amazing, and so well done. So I couldn't recommend that one anymore. But Pat, I know yours because I know you guys, and this year I think is easily for you guys the winner. So, Pat.
Yeah. It's no surprise. I'm pretty sure Nick and I chose the same game as the majority of other people did.
Carol and the Greasy Monkey.
Yeah. The monkey was not greasy enough.
Part 2.
Yeah.
Part 2.
And obviously that's Expedition 33 Clair Obscur, right? I mean, to me, that game was near perfection and it's not perfect, near perfection, because I probably complained about that game the most in the beginning because I wanted a turn-based game. But I don't want a turn-based game with twitch mechanics. And this game had those. And I bitched about it. But the more I played it, the more I'm like, okay, it has that. That's how they add the difficulty to the game, right? Because as you go to more and more bad guys, you're like, okay, I have 3 different types of dodge mechanics depending on what I'm going to hit. Is it a chroma attack? Can I dodge it? Can I do this? And then the whole twitch mechanic with the attacks to add more damage. That stuff drove me absolutely bonkers. But even with those things that I complained about, the music, the voice acting, the story, perfect. To me, they were perfect combination. And then the SK character just, to me, that was just perfection. I love that character, to no end. And if you've not played the game, you have to play it. You can dumb the difficulty down if the dodging mechanic is too much of a pain for you. You can also turn off the quick skill for attacks, where it just automatically does it for you if you want to do that, to get the story. But the story in that game is beautiful. The setting was beautiful. The music, man, the music in that game. And then when you find out that the music was composed by this random freaking Soundcast person, you're just like, that makes it even better, because the music in that game is, I am not the audio person or the which, Shane's the big voiceover, the voice acting, and I'm not that person, but this game is perfection in those areas to me. And then the story is really great. There's funny moments in the story. There's sad moments in the story. And the choices you make, and the outcome is different depending on the choice you make and things like that. So to me, it is the most perfect game that I can think of that came out this year. And it is damn near the most perfect game I've almost played in my entirety. It ranks up there in my top 10 games of all time because of it. So even by the end of it, I was like, is there more? When you beat it, you're like, is there more? And you could do New Game Plus and stuff like that. You can continue before you finish the final part to go do all the harder dungeons and stuff. But I had complaints about it. I hate backtracking, which you have to do some backtracking in this game. I hate the twitch mechanics in turn-based combat, but those were not enough for me to detract from it being an almost perfect game. So for me, Clair Obscur, Expedition 33, very heart-wrenching story and very great game. Almost perfect. And it's dominating everywhere. So, Nick, did you have something different?
My game of the year, it's a long title. Clair Obscur, Expedition 33.
No freaking way.
I know, surprising, huh?
I was surprised Nick and I had two of the same games on our
Two
list.
of the same, yeah.
You know what? I bet if we go back and look at last year's, I bet you had mentioned the same game twice at least.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I mean, everything that Pat said. I mean, I think, it's definitely at the Game Awards, if this game does not win Game of the Year, I'm going to be incredibly surprised because, I mean, this game deserves it. I just don't know how else to put it. I mean, they have made one of the. I agree with Pat. Like, it's not just the best game of this year. It's the best game that's come out in a long time. And I mean, there's some great games that have come out. There's games that win Game of the Year and everything, but I mean, this game is like almost perfect everywhere, and you don't get a lot of games like that. So this is kind of like the diamond in the rough or the once in a lifetime type of thing. And who knows when we're going to get a game to this, level again, right? I mean, this is Sandfall Interactive's first game. I'm interested to see what they'll do with the second one, but are they going to be able to hit the apex on the second game? We'll have to see, right? But I think with this one, everything like the graphics, the voice acting, the music, the story, like
it's the Final Fantasy VIII of this generation.
Some would say. It is definitely not as crazy of a story as Final Fantasy VIII. I'll tell you that. It is definitely, but it's definitely. If you have not played it, I don't know why. And I understand, not every game is for everybody, but at least try it out if you haven't played it. But I mean, like if you like RPGs or story-driven RPG type games or whatever, you can, like Pat said, you can even take off a lot of the stuff and make it super easy so you can just enjoy the story, which is also great on its own. So, I mean, just Expedition 33. I mean, I think on the Game Awards website, you can go and vote for all of the Game of the Year as well as other things. I think Expedition 33 is in like 8 of the 22 categories that they have.
I think it was like the most categories of a single game in their history, right? Game Award history, I think I said, or something like that.
And not to, I don't want to give away all the secrets, but when I went and voted, all of those categories, I voted for Expedition 33 because I'm like, it deserves all these. Like,
I think I only voted against it one time, and that was like
I don't think I voted against it at all.
I think I voted that was for Split Fiction, right?
That's for But I mean, like they have some other stuff on there. They also have the Player's Choice, which I think starts December 1st. So,
I start voting on that. Start then.
Yeah, I want to bring something up about Clair Obscur real quick. I saw a guy talking in a video about the game.
No, he didn't.
I did.
You did not see that.
You didn't see a guy.
I did. It was right after the Bigfoot video, but I saw it. The guy was talking about the overlove, the overhype for Clair Obscura, and
I felt it was underhyped in the beginning.
Well, and here's why. And you remember why it was in my top, and I said the only reason it didn't make my game of the year was because it didn't do that one thing different, or that one new thing that just made it explode. But that's also why that game was so goddamn amazing for me. Was because it felt so familiar. It felt so good to play. The story was solid. And this guy's complaint was they made these games 2 generations ago. They made turn-based. He was talking about it like because it was an old ideal, it was a bad ideal. And that's not at all the case with an older generation. You take a game like that, like they made 20 years ago, Final Fantasies or Dragon Quest or whatever, and you bring it to the now generation with now ideals, now game graphics. It's going to be just as good as if it would have been made 20 years ago. It's all about the
it's all about the execution, right?
Exactly. One thing I always say I'd like to see again, because of how powerful today's technology is, I'd love to see FMVs again, or pre-rendered backgrounds.
Sewer Shark 2.
We were just talking about the Arc Raiders intro when you launched reminded me of Sewer Shark.
Yes, exactly. But no, I meant to say the pre-rendered backgrounds. Fatal Frame, Resident Evil, with the power and technology today, I think those things could be utilized still in amazing new ways, even though it's an old ideal. And that guy really bothered me by the complaint that because these concepts and ideals were created, 3 generations back, PlayStation 1 era, whatnot, that they have no place for Game of the Year stuff. The way this thing was executed, Clair Obscur was executed, there's no reason whatsoever it should lose in most any of those categories.
So, but by that guy's logic, then they should have never made another Assassin's Creed game. They should have never made a Farscape game. They should have never made anything that just rehashes somebody else's thing, and we would have a number of games you can count on your 10 hands and 10 fingers and 10 toes, right?
Just because it's not new doesn't mean it's not innovative.
Right.
Well, because to be able to take something
that's been done,
to be able to take something that is old, bring it to the new age and make it as popular as it was, right? That's pretty, impressive on its own, right? Mm-hmm. Because that was one of the things before Clair Obscur came out, was a lot of people were worried of how turn-based was going to work in the modern age, because a lot of companies have moved away from it, because a lot of people just didn't, a lot of newer gamers like that more action-oriented stuff. That's why Final Fantasy VII Remake and Rebirth, moved to, and later Final Fantasy titles moved to that more action RPG instead of the turn-based strategy, because they figured turn-based just didn't have a place anymore. And then Clair Obscur showed that no, it does have a place. Like, if you just do it right?
Exactly. Execution is key to anything good.
Yeah.
You can have all the ideals in the world that are amazing, but if you do not execute them properly, it doesn't matter how good your ideal was. Clair Obscur nailed those ideals. They nailed what they wanted. They nailed the stories, the characters, the gameplay. They nailed everything. That's the reason that game hits so hard. So to that guy complaining, shut up.
Right. Everybody's entitled their opinion, right? Just like the whole, some
opinions are stupid.
Like Shroud. I don't agree with Shroud. Arc Raiders is not Game of the Year game, but Shroud had mentioned that that it's the Game of the Year and it should win over Clair Obscur. But that game, is not, in my opinion, it's not, because the only thing that it's unique is that it's sci-fi. There's so many PvE extraction shooters out there. But what the Game Awards is missing is a multiplayer category, right? And I think Arc should have been in that category along with Battlefield 6, and things like that, because those games are not getting any love because there's no category really for them, right?
Battlefield 6 was in a few different categories, but I didn't vote for it because there was other titles in there that
were better
in that situation.
But there needs to be like a multiplayer. I think there's an ongoing category or something like that.
I don't think Arc Raiders, I don't think they get Game of the Year either, and they weren't in the Game of the Year options. Mm-hmm. But I enjoy Arc Raiders. I think it's fun. And as far as an extraction shooter goes, I think it's definitely
done well.
It's executed that process of an extraction shooter. Definitely one of the best ones to do it in the recent handful of extraction shooters we've been getting for the last few years. They definitely did it the best, I think. But that doesn't mean that, but the concept again is kind of like that other guy. The concept's not new. And you can only play in an extraction shooter so long before it gets kind of
As long as, yeah, but I mean, keep adding new
As
As
stuff.
long as they
Sure.
keep adding content, right.
But there's
They
no
gotta
like,
keep it fresh.
I mean, they do have like the multiplayer games, but like, you know, Arc Raiders was in that one, which is a good thing
Yeah.
to have. But I didn't vote for it in that category because you guys
I don't
already know.
remember what was in there.
Arc Raiders, Battlefield 6, Elden Ring, Peak, and Split Fiction. So, and I voted.
I voted for Arc Raiders.
I voted for Elden Ring, Night Rain in that one. But yeah, so I mean, yeah, so you know, to each its own. That's why it's a voting.
Yeah,
That's
to
why
each
it's an
their own.
opinion. But you know, I do think that a lot of times that ongoing games get a little bit of the shaft at these things. But Arc
Right.
Raiders did get mentioned, so it's not like they got completely snubbed from the Game Awards. They just, in the category they were in, they had a little bit of a tough time.
Right. And then I mean, like, you know, like you said, everyone's entitled to their opinion. Everyone has their game of the year, right? Claire Obscure is not going to be the game of the year for everybody. And hence of Shane, right? It's not his game of the year. But that's okay. There's not a problem with that. It's whatever you enjoy, you know, as far as that goes. As far as an individual goes.
That's what
Right.
games are.
It's
they're
only a
about
problem
enjoyment.
if you attack somebody for thinking differently than you,
Right.
because that's what Shroud did.
If you say like you know, Arc Raiders is game of the year, then more power to you, buddy. I don't think so, but that's fine. You know, if you really enjoy it that much, I mean, I enjoy the game. I think it's a lot of fun. I really do.
Yeah.
It's not my runner-ups or anything like that, but I really do enjoy it. Like I don't play it by myself, but playing with Pat, I have a lot of fun. Right. I mean, we sat there one night and played it for like, I don't know how many hours. It felt like 3 or 4 hours. We sat there and played it. It felt like a long time, but we played it for a long time and I enjoy the game. I think it's fun. It's just not my game of the year. One thing I will add in as an honorable mention that I just thought about before is, you know, I think this series has been away for quite a long time. And it came back, and I think they did a really good job with it, and that was Silent Hill F. And so I think Silent Hill F, I don't think it needs to be game of the year or anything like that, but I enjoyed that game. I had a lot of fun playing it. I think the company, the developers behind it did a pretty good job with the Silent Hill franchise with F. I enjoyed F. I had a lot of fun playing it. I beat it, and then it does take multiple playthroughs. I am playing through it again, but slowly because I'm just busy playing other shit, but still, I think Silent Hill F is definitely a fun game, and you know, it's a really good game that I don't know if it was in any of the categories on there. I can't remember, but I still think it's
the Silent Hill
it was
games
all
are
3 of
more
them.
the niche.
There was 3 of them. I
stuff.
think it was best performance, best audio
Oh yeah,
design,
best
and best
performance.
narrative.
It was. I didn't give it for best performance. I gave Brian Cox.
You mean Charlie Cox from
Charlie Cox? No,
Claire?
not Charlie Cox.
There's Ben Starr, Charlie
Ben
Cox
Starr. I gave Ben Starr
for Claire.
for,
I
yeah,
voted for
Verso.
Charlie because he was
The Daredevil. That's why you did it.
No,
He was
it was he was the-
Gustav.
Gustav.
Gustav,
and that was the first thing that hit in the game, and I'm like, I love Gustav. He's great.
That was a
Aerith
hard. That was a hard moment.
And so that's why I picked him. And I also picked him because he was very humble when people were doting on him. And he's like, guys, I was barely in the game. And I'm like, and he was like, no, I'm not this person. But you know, the whole cast of Player 33 was great. But yeah, like I said, they were in three categories. That Kanatsu Kato for Silent Hill F was the narrative one. And then, yeah, the other 2, there was 2 more that Silent Hill F was in. So, you know.
I don't think I voted for Silent Hill F in any of those, but I still enjoyed the game. And I would definitely, if you like those titles, if you like the horror genre and stuff like that, I definitely recommend a play if you haven't played.
Yeah, because best audio, I'm pretty sure I picked Claire Obscure over that one.
Yeah.
Because I mean, that one had Battlefield 6, Claire Obscure, Death Stranding 2, Ghost of Yotei, and Silent Hill F. And then the other one was Best Narrative. And I picked, obviously, Claire Obscure and that one over Death Stranding 2, Ghost of Yotei. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 was in that one with Silent Hill F. So, I mean, go out there and vote on the Video Game Awards site if you have it. There's what, 29 categories or something that you can vote on. I'm not a big esports person, so I didn't vote on any of the esports. I did vote on the esports stuff, but I voted just randomly because I'm like,
yeah, I did too.
I
I didn't know what I was voting on. It was like, you look good.
Yeah. Be like, oh, these guys play a game I like. I will vote. And that's probably a bad way to vote, but it is how I voted on those. I'm like,
I don't know
like,
who any of the people are.
That's how most Americans vote for politics.
It was like, what is the best esports team? I'm like, I don't play Counter-Strike 2. I don't care about that. I don't care about Dota 2, Valorant, or Mobile Legends Bang Bang. I never even heard of that, but I'm like, I love League of Legends. So
I think I voted for the League of Legends ones too, right?
Okay.
For me, it's like, I don't know. I don't follow esports. Like the only thing competitive that I don't, I don't watch. I usually see like the highlights, especially when it's really good matches, is the Evo stuff, because sometimes there's some really good fights at those Evo matches sometimes. So I'll see like the highlights of that after it's happened, but
in the game or the audience?
In the game.
Okay.
The Evo, the when they're playing like Street Fighter.
Yeah, I know that's.
Right.
Yeah, and like content
Better
creators.
Shit on the joke.
I don't watch a whole lot of that, so I just picked the person I've seen the most of in videos this year. You know,
I think all the other one, I don't think I knew any of the people that was listed.
And the content.
Oh, actually, no.
You know,
I picked Moist Critical. Is who I picked. I picked Moist Critical.
See, I don't know.
I picked the Burnt
names.
Peanut because I watched a lot of his videos this year.
I have never watched the Burnt Peanut, so I don't know.
He's kind of funny.
Well, hold on. What did you say the name was?
The Burnt Peanut. He's the VTuber.
Okay. See,
he's like mocap, and he's just a giant peanut, like in the shell.
See, I would just vote for the one with the dumbest name, like Crispy Kegels, or
that's probably Moist Critical.
Moist Critical.
Yeah, Moist Critical. I just vote for Moist Critical because I've watched some of his stuff. So.
I mean, I've watched him for years, and he's been around forever, so that's why I'm like, I never even knew who the hell the Burnt Peanut was until this year, and I'm like, let's do that guy.
Yeah, I don't. I've seen it on there, but I've never watched any Burnt Peanuts.
So, all right.
Well, I think it was a decent year. I don't think it was the greatest year, but it wasn't a bad year.
It wasn't the best year. I think Clair Obscura was definitely the best thing to come out this year, in my personal opinion. There was a lot of other great games. Don't get me wrong about that. There was a lot of other great games, but as far as like knocking it out of the park, I think there was very few that hit that mark. Now, Metroid Prime 4 is coming out next month.
Yes.
But of course, it's going to miss the Game of the Year awards
for both years.
So, you know, well, I guess.
I think the game, in my opinion, the Game Awards should always be in like February for the previous year's games.
Yeah, exactly.
Or January.
But I think February to give everybody a chance to get through the December game.
Right, to play through the December
games. But, math is hard for Jeff Keighley, and he doesn't understand how a calendar year works. So,
because there's like 2 months worth of games that are missing from
exactly
the awards,
2 months. 2 months. And technically, voting started in this month. They probably didn't pick anything that was late October neither, right?
So, and a lot of big games drop in November.
Yeah, I mean, we already had some good ones that we've been playing, right? Like, I wouldn't put this in there, but, Call of Duty 7 or whatever, we can, whatever.
I don't think Call of Duty was in any of the categories, was it?
No. But it just came out, right?
Yeah, it just came out. But it came out like a couple of weeks after Battlefield, right? Didn't it?
No, it just came out
last week or 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, it came out on It came out on the 14th, so it's only been out for like a week, and the video game voting was already decided by the. So that's why I think, I don't think it would have been in any of the categories, mind you, but Jeff Keighley needs to really think about when the video game, because I think February makes more sense, and it's February 2026 would have been for the 2025 games, and then 2027 would have been for 2026. But it's like an earnings call. You didn't let all the financial stuffs come in before you announced your earnings, right? We could have some bangers in this month and in December, but no. Jeff Keighley says math is hard.
Math is hard. All right, before we go, prediction for next year: Grand Theft Auto 6, Game of the Year.
That'll be delayed again.
Yeah, it'll get delayed.
Battle Fantasy 8 Remaster.
Isn't it delayed until November of next year?
Yeah, November of 2020.
It won't be in the Game Awards. It'll miss the window,
right? Damn you, window. Oh, they'll hold it back.
Jeff Keighley will make an exception for that, probably.
Yeah. I'll tell you what.
He'll change the calendar.
I'll tell you what. If that game makes Game of the Year, the Game Awards next year, not even Game of the Year, because it'll probably be great, but if it makes it into the Game Awards next year and it comes out a week before the Game Awards, that Jeff Keighley is giving Hummers in the back to those guys because none of the other games that got released like this week or the week before are in the Game Awards, even if they work at games.
Yeah.
He's just like Jeff Keighley is loving on those Rockstar developers,
Oh yeah, he's partying like he's a rock star. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So Jeff Keighley, if you're listening, you need to really think about when the Game Awards are because you're missing out on 2 months of the year worth of games.
And slow down on the bedazzler.
No, speed up because you haven't bedazzled in like years. We expect
where's the bedazzle jacket?
We
You
expect
look like
to
a
see that
disco ball
jacket.
from a 70s nightclub.
We expect to see that bedazzled jacket every year.
Mm-hmm.
And you got to top the year before. So eventually you'll be head to toe bedazzled, shoes to hat.
Be glad that's all he said.
All right. Well, anyway, thanks everybody for tuning in to ITD's 2025 Game of the Year. Talk about games of the year. Let us know down in the comments below what your game of the year is. Or maybe you haven't played it yet. We still got a couple months left. Metroid Prime's coming out, and there's some other titles that I can't think of off the top of my head, but I do know some other ones are coming out. So, let us know what your game of the year, if you already have one, or, if you're waiting for maybe one of these other titles to pop and see if that's maybe your game of the year for 2025. And maybe some runner-ups, maybe games that we didn't mention here or didn't mention as honorable mentions, you want to add down there in the list. Maybe even titles that we need to check out, we always like to hear of titles that maybe we haven't known about or maybe just haven't played yet that you think is really cool and we should check that out. So let us know down in the comments below. Other than that, thanks for watching, everybody, and we'll see you next year. Bye-bye.
See ya.